swimming the forbidden zone. They were captured by the shrewdness of apes. But what the hell is the shrewdness of apes? And why is Taylor wearing a man frock and singing City looks like Fraggle Rock? Did the Chambers, did the Innsmouth, Mr. Spock? These are just the facts we try not to mock on. The minute of the apes. 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 Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Minute of the Apes, the podcast where we make sure to get our gin martinis right every time and break down the Planet of the Apes movie 1 minute at a time. I'm your host, and always joining me are my co-hosts, Richard and Todd. What's up, guys?
Hey, Sean.
I know we're not drinking gin martinis, we're drinking beers, but I try to make sure I get them
So,
right
seriously, can we do a gin martini recording session one time?
Yeah, totally.
Richard will bring the gin, Todd will bring the martini.
I'll bring the
I'll
olives.
bring the alcoholism.
As long as I know you said no olives. Can I have olives in mine? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. I can
Okay.
make them with olives.
Okay.
I don't put olives in mine at home.
I have to have olives.
Just don't make
love
his
olives.
with olives.
Absolutely not.
Right.
But let's do that.
All right, cool.
Instead of so, in case everyone doesn't know, we usually have some beers.
Mm-hmm.
We treat this fun. We've always said that we're not going to be those. We're so into the production of this that we can't tell you we're having fun while we're doing it.
And what prompted this is two comments. First, the beer that we are drinking at the particular moment that I cannot mention tastes like lint from my 20-year-old tweed jacket.
I have no sense of smell, so I don't know what you're talking about.
He has no sense of... Sean actually has no sense of smell.
No, he doesn't.
So the things that are kind of extremely pungent or not good tasting,
Odiferous.
Sean is not really attuned to. And we were also complaining about my favorite movie theater that can't actually make a gin martini or make them like in succession.
All I can say is since we usually record this 3 times a month now. We do 2 down here at Zeus. We do once at my house. That's what the pattern we've started. If we do that on the week when we're down here, I'm staying at one of your houses.
You're just crashing.
Gin martinis will floor me, and I'm just going to tell you right up front.
Oh, no, we should do it at your house. It
We
should
can-
be an afternoon
we can
thing.
find you an
should be
air-
able to take a nap
We can get you an
afterwards.
Airbnb down here.
Really? All right. Once again, are you going to cuddle with me, Sean?
There you go.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start minute 73 with a shot of Zira and Cornelius with some other chimps, and it ends with the cart of humans being locked up. And at minute 73, we still got our 2 living humans, although can Landon really be said to be living with his scar? Who knows?
I think Landon's done.
All right, we got 2 confirmed dead humans, poor Dodge and Stewart, shrewdness of apes, and the gaggle of humans that we got ever with us. All right, so Taylor, he's ever the understater. They cut him? Really? That is how he describes it, as they cut him?
him.
You would think somebody would say you butchered him.
Yeah.
You cut him. Sounds like they got an X-Acto knife and kind of flicked his skin.
Yeah, it sounds like he was, making a little stew or something, and he nicked himself while cutting the carrots. You cut him! Oh, put it in your mouth, suck on it, babe. I'll get you a Band-Aid and a little peroxide. No, they dug right into his skull.
Well, maybe they don't have butchers in that particular era of Earth that he's from, and therefore when he says cut, it's because it's lasers and surgical precision. I don't know.
You can definitely get into this, that we can't take the vernaculars of today and transpose them to them. We can't say butchering means the same thing, but it is sort of an understatement.
Wait. Are you saying butchering doesn't mean the same thing where Taylor is now, or are you saying butchery doesn't mean the same thing as where Taylor came from and then he went into the future and he's using a different term?
No one cares what it meant back then, because all they wanted to was get Taylor off the earth back then.
They cut him. So they say they cut. He says they cut
Richard
him.
cracked himself up with
And
that.
then he turns over to Zira and says, "Did you know about this?" But just a quick note, I have in here that after he kind of spins,
Dodge around.
Landon around and sees the scar.
Did you?
I have a note that Zira looks down right before he says they cut him. Did you know about this?
As if maybe she had some knowledge of it?
As if she knew, well, not necessarily knowledge, but she knew the severity of what had happened to Landon.
Now, and I said this to Richard, we were talking about this at some point before this in pre-pro.
in beer run time.
Yeah, I didn't read it quite that way, and I don't recall her looking down. I read it more of a shame, like what have they done to him? But I can see what you're saying, that maybe she did know. Was she complicit in it? Who knows?
She denies it in the next sentence. He said they cut him. Did you know about this? And Zira says, "No, I swear I've never seen this man before." Right. So she's immediately kind of, pleading to him like, you need to continue to believe me. I don't know who this is. I don't know what's going on. I don't have it. But I need to go. I want to go back and watch it again. But I have that moment that she looks down after the surgery scar is revealed, as if she knows what this operation is and what it does to somebody.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a great possibility of that. You think all she's been through, she's probably seen this happen to people. So I don't know if the shame comes from she knew this was happening to him, or she immediately knows what they've done to him and what it means to Taylor, that this just eradicates any hope he has of ever saying,
"Oh yeah,
they're going to believe me. They're going to support me. I can get some help trying to get back home, or continue my mission." Yeah.
But if you've seen, Dodge in the museum,
they
you've
don't
now
care,
seen Landon with this scar.
Yeah.
You know that your future, there's nothing you can do or say at this point, right? You're doomed, which is what kind of motivates this kind of next little.
I'm going to tee
outbreak.
this. I'm going to tee it up for Sean so that I can monkey bleep him. What are they at this point, Sean? F word. They're.
They're. Sorry. Wait, hey, you get two bleeps there because I don't know which one you're going for.
They're.
I just like the fact that whenever Taylor spins Dodge around and going, "Hey, did you know about any of this?" You just see Landon just go, and this is obviously the visual medium of podcasting. He just goes.
Sean just stuck his tongue out, sort of weird
lick of his lips. Did you know about this? And he just going.
Well, he's a vegetable at this point. What else do vegetables do but lick their lips?
I think there's the moment when he says they cut him. Did you know about this? Zira is like his only friend, right?
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, the only person that he can talk to and relate to, her and Cornelius. And she has to say, "No, I swear I've never seen this man before." And it just kind of speaks more to their relationship at this point.
Well, I did think that his immediate he immediately trusts her word.
Right.
He does not question it. He turns his ire to Zaius.
Right.
Everything becomes, I'm going to get you, essentially. So she could have been the one that did the surgery, but he would never think that.
To ask her if she did that?
Right.
Why would she inflict that on somebody else?
Well, once.
She's been the only one that's ever good to him and trusted him, and so that has meant something too. This complete asshole throughout the whole movie is finally touched by one being.
Person. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when she denies it, I never saw this man before. He then turns on Zaius.
And we find out again the problem of leash technology. You actually have to hold on to the leash because he's got a collar and leash on, but he is gone right up them steps.
Yeah, I thought it was the weird like angels on your shoulder that pulled your leash and kind of kept you in check.
He kind of goes like,
better
he
angels
says something
of
like,
our
"You did
nature."
this to me. You did it. You cut up his brain. You funny baboon."
Yeah,
baboon. Which hit me. What? Why
is that
don't,
like
you funny baboon?
You stupid gibbon.
Well, so it.
You rhesus monkey.
I have to say, I could have potentially uttered funny baboon at some point, but I probably would have never used gibbon or any.
I
of that.
promise you, from now on, you might use gibbon instead because you don't want to be derogatory towards the baboons of the world.
That's when you go, "I'm not even going to call you the right species. You're a lemur. You come from
So in
Madagascar."
the Planet of the Apes, are there only 3 ape species?
As far as we've seen, chimps, gorillas, and orangutan.
Orangutans. Make sure he's tans.
Yes.
So he says, "You cut up his brain, you funny baboon." He pulls free and begins to run up the amphitheater steps towards Zaius. So
Yeah.
At this point,
We see the perfect execution of rope net technology.
At this point, Taylor now has shifted to the fact that Zaius has done something. At this point, does Taylor think that Zaius has been out to get him, or does he think he's been able to plead his case every single time?
I think he's at least questioning that Zaius is attempting to cover something up, that he's trying to suppress
some sort of truth, that humans have some sort of ability to talk, because there was another one that they silenced as soon as... Why they haven't done this to Taylor already? How has Zira been able to keep him from...
I mean, if this was Game of Thrones, his head would have been lopped off right away.
Among other body parts, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have that whole thing that there is. It's not even reactionary. Zaius is being very passive with him for some reason. Is he toying with him?
Yeah, he was on the verge of being gelded and escaped from that, and now why hasn't he had brain? So is it going to be gelding, then brain surgery, then death?
Well, considering what they were going to do to Stuart, gelding would have been probably the best measure to negate all of him, just to completely shut him up all the loving, but.
To end the Taylor and Stewart lines in general?
I'm
assuming that's Nova that ran as fast as she could straight to the cart. I mean, she was subservient for trying to get right back in there.
Well, before we get to the cart, one of the things that hit me, and you two, I'm a comic book nerd to an extent, but you two far surpass my knowledge.
Yes, let us begin. You see our stock right behind you. Let us answer your questions 3.
Do you know that's one of my favorite, Shelley's favorite things that you do?
Do the nerdy
when
voice.
you go into comic book nerd voice. But
Let's go.
does the net the gorilla throws not almost remind you of the Linda Carter lasso era for Wonder Woman, where it just sort of it falls and it hits them and they just are negated because Taylor just completely goes limp for all the.
It's almost as if there was some sort of shocking technology that knocks him down, but no, it is literally just a hemp rope that they throw on him, and the weight of 5 pounds makes me fall to the ground.
For all the anger he is ready to thrust upon Zaius, it is just neutered
by this rope net. Yeah.
And it barely sort of hits him, and he falls down and completely gives up.
They make it seem much more like a weighted net, some sort. Like the description in the comic books with Batman that they've always that they put into the retcon into the backstory is the end of his capes have weights in them, so that whenever he spins around, he can hit somebody and pound them with it.
Right.
The rope net, even though it doesn't look like it, feels like it should. Yeah, you assholes are looking at me like I'm.
Nerd.
So Warren Ellis decided one day that Batman would have weights on his capes, and
so anyways, it looks like the rope net should have more weight to them than they actually do, more substance than they do.
They do. It is very much a flick on him.
That is heavy.
But there's a cut right after that though where Zaius, to me, it is the 100% answers every question. There's a look Zaius gives, sort of it's an upward angle on him where he just sort of looks down his nose at Taylor, and it 100% answers all the, is he doing all this on purpose? Mm-hmm. It is the all-knowing 100% you complete piece of shit. I have done this to you, and I need you eradicated. Zaius is completely in control of this. So we look at in some reverse shots too. Also, we see the president has markings down his back and those leather pieces that are much deeper than even Zaius's. But you get that feeling that the president is the president. Oh Lord, I don't want to speak about politics today. But the president is president in name only.
He's that
Zaius is the one that's actually pulling the strings.
I can see that a little bit.
Once we get the net over him, the shot of take him inside, not take him away. Not send him to a cell, not take him inside.
Right.
So we're now going someplace with Taylor. And we then have kind of that almost comical, like, caveman clubbing of the humans that are in the group.
With the soft rubber clubs that they're...
Well, you could hear the sound man having added the extra thumps afterwards.
It sounds like you almost imagine like an aluminum baseball bat going ting, but it's this little bitty wooden bat.
And then the humans are kind of like,
shuffling away.
Well, there is one man that falls into the cart, and he looks back like, I'm going to jack. He almost bows his chest. I'm going to jack you up, but then he sort of gives up and falls back into the cart.
What I noticed, and the previous minute I talked about how many humans were there.
Yeah,
and the cart scene actually, because I thought I counted 8, and when the cart happens, I kind of went back and there's 8, and it kind of gave me a breakdown. There were 3 women and 5 men.
Okay.
From that, one of them being Landon.
Mm-hmm.
What I found interesting was the women kind of go into the cart unassisted, but they're going quickly. One of them kind of falls out of her top. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did notice that. Somebody falls on the ground. She leaps over, and as she's being pushed in, it's almost like we get the female version of Taylor's